ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. These three words of Kannada are sufficient, I think. DPS, I think, is a very happy place. I found that this morning because your principal has such a wonderful smile, such a happy smile. Is that true? Yes. And so many other teachers who welcomed me gave me such a warm welcome with such a wonderful smile. And I'm so grateful and thankful for that. My dear fellow students, I would address you all as fellow students because I'm a teacher. And as a teacher, I am learning every day new things, like we all learn every day. So during my conversation, during my teaching with my non-common students, I just happened to tell them that I'm going to DPS to give a TEDx talk. They said, "Sir, visit, sir." They said, "Slay it, sir." And I don't know what all of this slang is, the youth slang. I said, "What is it?" They said, "Sir, visit means charisma, charm. Slay it means do it exceptionally well." I was nervous. I said, "I don't know." Then one girl said, "Sir, just make it a wow moment." I said, "Okay, I can relate to that. Make it a wow moment." I don't know how much of a wow moment I'm going to make it for you, but I'll try. What I would like to say is your DPS is going to prepare you very well with your academics. You all are going to do very well. I know you all will be at IITs, Indian Institute of Science. Some of you all will be at Harvard, MIT. That is not very important to me. But today I would like to talk to you all about three important things. Basically, first is health and fitness. Two is happiness and wellness. Three is gratitude and gratefulness. Because these things are very important for you all to progress, and it would help you all in the future. What I'm telling you all about health and fitness is it's so vital, it's so important for you all to remain healthy, to wake up in the morning and tell yourselves, "Oh, I'm feeling good, I'm energetic," and it sets the tone for the rest of your life. And also, how you've been physically active in your youth also determines your health for the rest of your adult life. I've been a big advocate of health and fitness. I've taught tennis for 40 years. I represent Karnataka in the national athletics, besides doing my film and writing and all of that. So recently I was invited for a sports as a chief guest at my school, St. Germain's, and I made a promise with the parents. I said, "You parents have to be healthy to take care of your children." So I told them, early morning we will meet at Coles Park opposite the school, and everybody showed up. So many women came, so many men came, and they are now into physical fitness, which is very, very important for you all because, okay, today you all are protected. Your parents are shielding you. But later on when you go, when you're on your own, how are you all going to react to this? How are you all going to stay fit and healthy? Apart from that, I want to also tell you all, see, we grew up, when I was growing up, we were outside all the time. There were 7 and 8 and 9 kids at home. The parents were happy to just let them go. So we went, we played, we left our neighborhood and we went to the other neighborhood. And we spent time in God's great outdoors. Please get plenty of oxygen and sunlight. It's going to help you all. Your studies are one thing, that's fine. But take up a game, learn something new, learn a musical instrument. And please, I know your mobiles are important, but please keep it aside when you're doing these things. Okay, let's come to happiness and wellness. It's all related to each other. I remember I went for my daughter's sports, and the chief guest was a very unassuming KAS officer. When she stood up to speak, she said, "Today is a day where you can be happy for yourselves and also for your friends. Not everybody is going to win an award. Not everybody is going to be receiving gifts, but you can be happy for somebody else." And I thought that was such a great thing. It's such a wonderful thing. Also about gratitude and gratefulness. Last year, our tennis academy conducted a tennis clinic for poor students, students who've never seen a tennis court. It was in Lingarajapuram at a school, and we went with tennis rackets, and all of these kids were so excited, they were so happy, and mornings I would wait for them, and one of them would come late, another one would come late, and I said, they spoke Tamil, they spoke Kannada. So I said, "Yana aichippa innikku, ya innikku late vande." "Sir," I said, "Yana adu." I said, "Why did you come late? What happened?" "Sir, I had to milk the cow," he said. Somebody else said, "I had to take care of my little sister." Another young boy said he had to go deliver papers. Somebody else had to wash dishes. But these kids were so grateful that we were providing them with tennis, which they have never seen. They have played other games. And now we take them to a place, to the tennis courts, and they're very happy. So if somebody is given the opportunity, they will achieve what they can. So I think we shouldn't look at somebody not achieving anything saying that, "Oh, they've not been given the opportunity. You know, y'all are lucky. Your parents are providing y'all with all y'all need, the infrastructure and all of that." Also, I'll tell you a brief thing about myself. I'm a Bangalore boy. I love Bangalore. I went to St. Charles Convent till the 4th standard. Then after that, I went to St. Germain School, then to St. Aloysius School. And then after my graduation from St. Joseph's College of Commerce, you are so confused, you don't know what to do. So I did my law a little bit, I gave up. I did my MA Literature, I did it for 1 year. So what I'm saying is, we all think, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to do that." And then there was an opportunity for me to go to Germany on a cultural exchange program. So I was very happy. At that time, you just wanted to leave the country. And also when I was in German school, we had a test every Monday. Every Monday was a weekly test. And we were kids, we were playing. I was in the cricket team, the hockey team, the athletic team, and I would fail in the tests. So my father and mother would say, "My God, what is this? You're failing in a test." But I knew, okay, I was focusing more on sport and not focusing in my studies. And then after I went to Germany, I went on a cultural exchange program. I worked for South Asian Bureau, a journal dealing with Sri Lankan refugees. It was nice, I was editing the magazine, but I wanted to be outdoors. I wanted to experience German life. So there was an opportunity to work with old people. And since I started playing tennis in my final year of college, there was a tennis court very close to the place where I was working. So I went and I taught tennis. And it was very nice. I enjoyed my 1 year stay. I made friends. I learned German, which I still continue, and I teach German. Then after that, I went to the UK, and from there, UK, the similar situation, I went to the US. I went to the US to do a similar course to deal with not adults, but with children, physically and mentally challenged children. It was a wonderful experience, but I wasn't very happy. I think at that age, as youngsters, you're so restless, you want to try out different things. So I was in a small rural town in Pennsylvania, and I came back to New York City, and I was lucky that I found a job teaching tennis at a facility close to my place. Then I studied psychology, I did other things. So all these experiences have helped me look at life in a different perspective. When you look at life in a different perspective, you can figure out for yourself where you are, where you want to go, where you stand. Well, I spent a few years in the US. I came back to India. Then I got married. We had children. Then since I went to the New York Film Academy, I came back and people said, oh, you have to make a film. So I said, okay, I'll make this film. I made a small film called The Outhouse on a young Anglo-Indian family, and the wife wants to be financially independent, but her husband is not allowing her. But a kind-hearted Bengali landlady and her sister helped her. So the film won awards. Then I was involved in other awards. I made other films that won awards. Then I wrote my novel, which was published last year, called Smoke on the Backwaters. So this is a small story about a young girl coming of age and her travels, semi-autobiographical. And I also mentioned something about Donald Trump in the film. So I know I will never be able to go to the US again because he won't grant me a visa. So a friend of mine said, why would you want to be there anyway? So what I'm trying to say is, if you have focus, just be chill, don't overthink, do the best you can, and I'm sure all your dreams will come true. And I also firmly believe that move boldly, there is a hand above that will guide you, and if God be for you, who be against you? And I'm available anytime if you all need any help with your future, any help with counseling, with German, with writing, with film, I'm more than willing to help. So I hope I've made this a wow moment for you all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.